Good afternoon, everyone. So we can start today's lecture. So before starting the today's lecture, we can review what we have discussed in the previous lecture. So in the previous lecture, we have discussed about voltage to current converter and current to voltage converter. So we have started from the types of voltage to current converter. So it depends on the type of how the load register is connected. According to the connection of load register, there are the two types of V to I converter. The first one is floating type V to I converter, and second type is uh, grounded type V to I converter. So this part we have discussed in the previous lecture. Now in the floating load or in the voltage to current converter with floating load, the load is connected as a feedback resistor that is shown in this figure. The load resistor is nothing but feedback resistor here, and this load resistor is connected between inverting terminal and output terminal. Means the load resistor is not connected to ground. That's why it is called as floating low voltage to current converter. So we have described this circuit. We have understood the working of this circuit, and after that we have derived the relation between output current I0 and input voltage Vin. So that we got by using the virtual ground concept, we got the relationship between output current and input voltage Vin. So we got the relation that is I0 is equal to Vin divided by R1. So Vin is input voltage you are going to connect at the non-inverting terminal. So the relation is I0 is equal to Vin divided by R1, means the input voltage Vin is converted into output current I0. So I0 is directly proportional to input voltage, means if you are changing the input voltage Vin, you can get, according to that you can get the respected output current I0. So we have seen the applications also, and after that we have discussed the second type of V2I converter, that is the V2I converter with grounded load. So in this, the load register is connected uh, to the ground. That load register RL is shown here in this figure. Here also the input is applied at non-inverting terminal. So again here the voltage to current conversion is going on. So we have understood the working. We have understood the description of this circuit, where the input is connected, where the output we have to take, and where the load register is connected. So everything we have understood, we have discussed in this point. So again here by applying the KCL at non-inverting terminal, that is at V1, we got the relation between the output load current IL and input voltage Vin. So that relation we got, IL is equal to Vin by R. So this derivation is somewhat longer one compared to previous one, because here the non-inverting configuration is used. The and the condition is that all registers are having same values. प्रत्येक रजिस्टरचा व्हॅल्यू सेम असायला पाहिजे. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू दॅट AF, that is the gain of the non-inverting configuration, that we got 2. So output voltage relation is that V0 is equal to AF into V1. So based on that we got the relation between output current IL is equal to Vin divided by R. So output load current is directly proportional to input voltage Vin. So these 2 points, these two types of V to I converter we have discussed in detail in the previous lecture. Now after that we have started to discuss the I to V converter, that will be the current to voltage converter we have discussed now. We have discussed in the previous lecture only. So at the current at the input of non-inverting terminal, we have connected the current source IN, or instead of that you can connect the Vin and resistor R1. Vin आणि Rin घ्या किंवा Vin आणि R1 घ्या at the inverting terminal. So the Vin divided by R1, it will gives the IN also, that is the incoming current IN or input current IN, or you can directly connect the current source as shown in this figure IN. So this circuit will convert the current IN into output voltage V0. So V0 is given as minus RF into IN. So how we got the relation? that we got the relation by using the inverting configuration, because the circuit is now inverting configuration, in the mode of inverting configuration. So output voltage of inverting configuration is given as v0 is equal to minus rf by r1 into v in. So uh, v in divided by r1 is nothing but I in. So we got the relation, that is output voltage v0 is equal to minus rf into I in. So if you are changing the value of I in, then you can get the respected output here. So at the last we have discussed the applications. So in the applications where the I to V converter is used, that all points we have discussed in the previous lecture. So up to this point we have completed in the previous lecture. Now we can start the integrator and differentiator. So first we can start from the integrator circuit. Next linear application of op-amp is op-amp as a integrator. Op-amp as integrator. So this is a very important function or very important application which we can use op-amp as an integrator. We can start. So we can start with the help of definition first of all. A circuit, a circuit in which the output voltage waveform we can consider a circuit in which output waveform is is integral of is integral of input voltage waveform is called as integrator or integration amplifier. So both are the same, integration amplifier or integrator. Now here a circuit using op-amp in which the output voltage is integral is or integration is a arithmetic function or mathematical function. So a circuit which performs the integration of the input voltage and gives the output voltage as a integration of the input voltage. So we can consider a circuit using op-amp in which output voltage op-amp is integration of input voltage. So that circuit is called as what? Integrator or integration amplifier. So circuit diagram we can try to understand, we can try to describe, and then we will see the working. So circuit diagram, a small change is there in the feedback circuit. So here we are using the inverting configuration, and inverting configuration means what? The input voltage applied at inverting terminal. And what will be the important change is there that we can try to understand. So this is the op-amp plus VCC minus VCC as a power supply. Next, here at the inverting terminal, the input is applied. The input V in is applied at inverting terminal. That input we can give as a name as V in. So this register as R1 as it is. So in the feedback path, instead of register, we are connecting the capacitor. Instead of register, we are connecting the capacitor. And output we are taking across the load register, that is the RL here. So this capacitor we can give the name as CF, F for feedback. As the capacitor is connected in the feedback path, the capacitor name is CF here. This register is R1 here. Now next, the non-inverting terminal is directly grounded here. It is directly connected to the ground here. Now the output voltage is V0, that is nothing but output across load resistor. But what will be the expression of output voltage? Output voltage is integration of this input voltage. Output voltage is integration of this input voltage V in. So what will be the expression? We can find out by using the derivation, then I will write here. Okay. Now according to the virtual ground concept, the voltage difference is always 0, or the potential at V1 is same as potential at V2. So that is the virtual ground concept. Now this IB1 current is 0 and IB2 current is also 0. That already we know. That is input bias currents both are 0 for the op amp 1. Now figure of this is the figure of integrator using op amp. Integrator using op amp, or op amp as an integrator, you can write like this. Okay. Now we can start the first of all to describe the construction, and then we can start the working. So construction and working we can simultaneously try to understand. So construction and working means the description and derivation will come here. The above circuit the above circuit shows the above circuit shows the integrator using op amp. So in this circuit capacitor CF in this circuit the capacitor CF is used in feedback Okay. The above circuit shows the integrator using op amp. In this circuit the capacitor CF is used in feedback. Now the amplifier is in inverting configuration. The amplifier is in inverting configuration. So what will be the output expression of the inverting configuration? That already we know, that is output voltage, that is minus Rf by R1, but here capacitor is there, so that's why we cannot get the relation by using the feedback resistor, because feedback resistor is absent here. So in this case, how to get the relation between output voltage and input voltage? So that we can start by using the derivation. Now apply next point apply KCL at node V2. Apply KCL at node V2. So at node V2 means what here? So this is the outgoing current, and that is IB2 0. So Vin is connected here, plus minus. That's why current is flowing in this direction. That current we can give the name as I1. That current we can give the name as I1 here. So this current we can give as a IF because we are using the feedback current. Okay. So feedback current is there. That's why it is the outgoing current. So if you are applying the KCL at this point, what we can get? That is minus I1, next plus IB2 plus IF is equal to 0. Now IB2 is 0. IB2 is 0 because it is the base current, input bias current we can say, that is 0 ampere. Therefore IF I1 is equal to IF, that is minus I1. If you are taking at one another side, then it becomes I1 is equal to IF. Okay. Up to this point, anyone having questions? Konal questions? Okay. So this equation I will give the equation number as a 1. So I1 is equal to IF. I will give as a equation number 1. Now the capacitor value is CF. the voltage between the capacitor where it is connected, that difference is here V2 is there at this one plate. At the another plate the voltage is V0. So I will write here V0. Okay. Now the current passing through capacitor is IF. The current passing through this capacitor is IF here. Now we know that the relation between current passing through capacitor and voltage across capacitor. So current passing through capacitor and voltage across capacitor, that formula we already used in network theory and analysis. So by using that we can get one more equation. So that I will tell, the current passing through the current passing through the current passing through capacitor is given by the current passing through capacitor is given by, so what will be the general formula, that is IC is equal to, that is current passing through capacitor, IC is equal to C into voltage difference or voltage across capacitor, derivative of voltage across capacitor with respect to time t. So this is the equation number 2 here. Now if you are observing this one, now IC is nothing but current passing through capacitor IC is equal to IF. So that we can put here IF is equal to C is replaced by CF. Next, derivative of voltage across capacitor. Now voltage across capacitor means V2 minus V0 NR. Why V2 is positive? Because current is flowing from V2 to V0. Okay, that's why V2 minus V0. Current difference NR. Difference between 2 points is nothing but voltage. Potential difference between 2 points means voltage across capacitor, that is given by V2 minus V0. Now here this we can consider as a equation number uh, okay. Now IF is equal to CF into derivative of V2 minus V0 with respect to t up to this point we got. Now if you are observing this one, IF is same as I1 from the equation number 1. So what is the I1? I1 is nothing but what? I will write here I1 is equal to, IF is replaced by I1 CF into d of dt with respect to V2 minus V0. Now I1 is nothing but what? V in minus V2, V in minus V2 divided by R1 is equal to CF into this as it is V2 minus V0. So I1 is nothing but V in minus V2. Kasa ala? That I will show here. So I1 is nothing but V in minus V2 divided by R1. I1 is nothing but what? V in minus V2 divided by R1. And voltage across capacitor is nothing but V2 minus V0. Are you getting my point? So this we have got. So from equation number 1, because from equation number 1, IF is equal to I1. So IF is replaced by I1 here. Now, but as V1 is equal to 0, because see here, V1 means this voltage. So V1, the voltage at non-inverting terminal is 0. Therefore, V2 value is also 0 according to virtual ground concept. But as V1 is 0, then V2 is also 0, because 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 of virtual ground concept. Because of virtual ground concept. So therefore, this equation becomes V in divided by R1 as it is. V0 is replaced by 0. Next, CF as it is. Derivative of this term, that is 0 minus V0, that becomes minus V0 with respect to t. So this equation I will give the name as, or equation number as a 3. This is as a equation number 3 here. Now uh, here the output voltage is here V0, output voltage is V0 and input voltage is V in. So what we have to do here to get the output expression ikkada hai V0. So that we have to take in a one side. So for that purpose, what we have to do here, so V0 you can keep in one side, V0 you can keep in one side. So CF, now I will write V in minus R1 into CF इकडे आला. Okay, so with the negative sign, so this, so E is equal to derivative of V0. म्हणजे काय केलं, CF इकडे घेतला, so it is coming here. So derivative of V0 minus is also taken outside and that is taken here. आता मला V0 पाहिजे, म्हणजे काय करायचं, दोन्हीकडे इंटिग्रेशन केलं की हा डेरिव्हेशन कॅन्सल होतो. सो integrate both side with respect to t, integrate both side with respect to t. So what you are getting, integration of minus v in divided by r1 into cf with respect to t is equal to, integration and derivation will get cancelled, it will give the v0. Okay, and plus c here it is coming. So the final expression of output voltage v0 is equal to minus this r1 and cf are constant and minus you can take outside, minus 1 upon r1 into cf as it is. So integration of v in with respect to t plus this constant c. So this is the final expression of output voltage v0, which will give the integration of input voltage. म्हणजे output voltage v0 is a integral function of input voltage v in, where r1 and c1 will be the constant and c is the constant of integration. Are you getting my point? So this will give the equation number 4. So this is the final output expression here. So everyone understood the derivation. We have started to apply the KCL at node V2 and we got the relation between I1 and IF. So IF is nothing but current passing through capacitor. The current passing through capacitor is given as IC is equal to C into derivative of voltage across capacitor. Now IC is same as IF, therefore IC is replaced by IF. This voltage across capacitor is nothing but V2 minus V0. Now next, IF and I1 both are same from equation number 1. So IF is replaced by I1. So right hand side as it is. So I1 means what? V in minus V2 divided by R1 according to Ohm's law. So once you get this expression, we have to use the virtual ground concept. So in the virtual ground concept, if V1 is equal to 0, then V2 is also 0 because of virtual ground concept. So put this in above equation. So V2 wherever is there, you can put 0. So that it will gives V in divided by R1 is equal to CF into derivative of minus V0 with respect to t. That is the equation number 3. Now we want the output expression of V0. So V0 you can keep in one side and remaining all those things you have to keep in another side. So here derivative is there. To remove this derivation, we have to do the integration both side. So integrate both side with respect to t. So if you are doing this, you can get the output expression of voltage V0 is equal to minus 1 upon R1 into CF integration of input voltage V in with respect to t plus C. So what will be the integration factor? This will be the 0 to t we can consider. That is the limit 0 to t we can get. So this is the equation number 4 here. So in this derivation, anyone having queries, questions? Anyone having queries, questions? No one? Everyone understood? Okay. Okay. Now next we'll see the equation. The equation 4 indicates the equation 4 indicates that the equation 4 indicates that the output voltage is directly proportional to the output voltage. I will write in bracket V0 is directly proportional to negative because we are using inverting configuration, negative integral of, I will make it underline, negative integral of input voltage V in bracket V in and and inversely proportional to inversely proportional to time constant inversely proportional to time constant R1 into Cf. So the equation 4 indicates that the output voltage V0 is directly proportional to negative integral. Negative is because inverting configuration you are using. Negative integral of input voltage V in, as well as it is inversely proportional to time constant R1 into Cf. So R into C is the time constant we have learned in the NTA subject, that is the DC response of RC circuit. In that, time constant tau is equal to R into C. So same here, the time constant is R1 into Cf. So time constant means how much it is taking the time to charge the capacitor completely, okay, or to give the output. That is nothing but time constant here, R1 into Cf here. Now, if you are applying the input voltage as a DC, what type of output waveform you are getting? So here we can try to understand input waveform. If you are applying as a V in, then what will be the nature of output waveform? So some examples we can take. So input waveform means V in and output voltage is V0. So first of all, if you are taking the input voltage as DC voltage, if you are taking DC supply, DC voltage as a V in, just like I will give, suppose you are taking the DC supply voltage here, suppose magnitude is like this, काहीतरी असं example, for example suppose it is 5 volt, 5 volt DC supply you are using, DC voltage supply as a V in, then if you are applying at a V in, then what will be the output you are getting? So that output you are getting as a negative integral. So on x-axis it is the time, and this will be the output expression V0, that you can get negative. Negative NR, that is the ramp signal. The ramp signal you are getting. So this is the, if you are providing the input DC voltage like this, then you are getting the output as a integral output of V in. Okay. So V0 is nothing but negative, because this is the negative V0, because it is at downward y axis. So it will give the negative integration of input voltage. So this is called as ramp signal that you are getting. So this is the output of DC input, output of this DC input. Now second case, if you are considering the AC signals, AC voltage supply, and you are considering sinusoidal, जर तुम्ही sinusoidal AC supply connect करत असाल, okay, so suppose the nature of that is like this. So this will be the V in, this I will write V in. So with respect to T, suppose the nature of is sinusoidal like this. Okay, so this is the maximum positive amplitude and this is the minimum negative or maximum negative amplitude. Okay, so this is the input you are providing as a sinusoidal AC supply. Then what will be the output? So output is negative, but the it will gives the integration of this sinusoidal. So that will gives the square wave. So output is like this. Sorry, it is gives the square wave only. This is wrong. The output we are getting cosine. Sine से integration केल्यावर cosine येतो. So that will gives the negative cosine. So negative cosine is like this. So this is the time t. This is positive V0. This is negative V0. So this is the sinusoidal sine function, and at the output we are getting cosine. Current integration of sine is nothing but minus cosine. So minus cosine you are getting here. Okay. So this we can give as V0 as a cosine waveform. Now next, if square wave you are giving as a input, जर तुम्ही square wave देणार असाल as a input, square wave, that is also called as AC signal. So in this case, what will be the output? So if third type is AC signal only, but it is square wave as a input if you are giving. So जर तुम्ही स्क्वेअर वेव्ह देणार असाल ॲज अ इनपुट, so this is a V in some amplitude, then output will be the sawtooth किंवा triangular आपण म्हणतो. The output will be the triangular or sawtooth, that will be the negative, like this. So this will be the positive V0, this is negative V0. So this is called as what? Triangular waveform. Negative triangular waveform. So this is equal to integration. म्हणजे स्क्वेअर वेव्हचं इंटिग्रेशन काय येणार? ट्रायंग्युलर. सायनोसॉइडलचं इंटिग्रेशन काय येणार? कोसाइन. डीसीचं इंटिग्रेशन काय येणार? रॅम्प. Okay, so this will be the square wave. So these are the nature of input and output. If you are applying the DC supply voltage, you are getting the ramp signal at the output. If you are applying the AC sinusoidal signal, you are getting cosine signal at the output. If you are applying the AC square wave signal, you are getting the triangular waveform at the output. आणि जर तुम्ही कोसाइन सिग्नल अप्लाय केला तर तुम्हाला साइन मिळेल at the output. So the output waveform is the integration of input waveform. Are you getting my point? So these are the nature of the output waveform you are getting when you are connecting the different types of input at the inverting terminal. So any questions up to these three waveforms? Now there are some limitations are there. So how to remove these limitations, or how to remove the drawbacks, that we are going to understand in this point. इथपर्यंत कोणाला काय अडचण असेल तर विचारू शकता. So where the limitation we are getting to use the integrator circuit, so that we are going to understand. Now when input, screen is visible? Okay, so when input V in is 0 volt, म्हणजे जेव्हा इनपुट नसतो, when the input is not present, at that time what is the output we are getting, that we are discussing, that is the drawback. So when input V in is 0 volt, then कॅपॅसिटर सीएफ, कारण त्याच्यातलं करंटच फ्लो होणार नाही ना, इनपुट झिरो असेल तर करंट कसं फ्लो होणार? देन इफ करंट इज झिरो, देन circuit acts as a open circuit, that already we have learned in the network theory subject. So when input Vin is 0 volt, then capacitor CF acts as open circuit, and capacitor CF acts as open circuit because IF becomes 0 ampere. If no input is there anywhere, then how the current will flow? Then if Vin is 0 volt, then capacitor CF acts as open circuit, and because of the IF, that the current which is flowing through capacitor, that is 0 ampere, and op amp becomes op amp becomes op amp becomes in open loop configuration. कारण फीडबॅकच डिस्कनेक्ट होतो ना. इफ कॅपॅसिटर इज ओपन सर्किट, then feedback is disconnected. If feedback is disconnected, the meaning is that there is a no closed loop, means it will gives the open loop configuration. Therefore the op amp becomes in open loop configuration. Therefore this causes this causes this causes the input offset voltage VIO present at input terminals. present at input terminal. म्हणजे open loop configuration झाल्यामुळं and Vin is 0 volt, even though due to the noise or some disturbances, it will create the input offset voltage VIO. So due to this, an error voltage will appears at output, even though there is a no input voltage, that is 0 volt. Due to the input offset voltage VIO, it causes the error voltage, okay, at the output. So that we can call it as output offset voltage. Already we have discussed it. Now this is the limitation. So this is the drawback. This is drawback or limitation. This is the drawback or limitation of integrator. This is the drawback or limitation of integrator circuit when input Vin is 0 volt. Okay, so first of all we have understood what is the reason, what is the drawback, what is the limitation of using this integrator circuit when the input voltage Vin is 0 volt. Now how to remove this? So how to reduce it, that we can try to understand. So to minimize this drawback, to minimize this drawback or error voltage, to minimize this error voltage, the resistor RF is connected, the resistor RF is connected in parallel with capacitor CF. So to minimize this drawback, that is to minimize the error output voltage म्हणतो. To minimize this error output voltage, the resistor RF, that is a feedback resistor RF, we have to connect in parallel with capacitor CF. So this modification we have to do in the circuit so that it will forms the new integrated circuit. So we can draw now the integrated circuit here with the modification. So positive terminal, that is inverting, non-inverting terminal is grounded here. So for the negative terminal, the capacitor CF is present here. The load resistor RL as it is, plus VCC minus VCC as it is. So this is the CF value. So this will be the resistor R1 and the input voltage is connected here. So that will be the Vin. So this is the original integrated circuit, and modification is that what we are going to connect the feedback resistor RF in parallel with this capacitor CF. So this will be the modified, or this figure known as practical integrator circuit using op-amp. So this is the practical integrated circuit where we have to use RF as well as CF. So if you are using this one, the output voltage is 0 volt if you are providing the input 0. त्या केसमध्ये error voltage minimum असेल. 0 is ideal one, but it should be the minimum one in case of or in the absence of input voltage Vin. So we can try to analyze this one now. So everyone understood now what is the drawback, what is the limitation of original integrated circuit, and once we understand what is the drawback, then how to remove it, so that we can remove it, that we can minimize it by using the feedback resistor RF, and that we can connect in parallel with feedback capacitor CF. So this circuit is also known as lossy integrator. Lossy integrator means which will give the less loss, in which the error voltage is minimum. That is called as what? Lossy. So the resistor RF limits. So what is the function? What is the task of this RF? So that we can try to understand. The resistor RF limits the gain. लो फ्रिक्वेन्सी गेन म्हणजे गेन कमी करतो तो by providing stabilization. It is reducing the gain, but it will provide the stabilize the gain. तो गेन कमी करतोय बट इट विल गिव्ह द स्टॅबिलाइज म्हणजे एकदा एक गेन फिक्स झाला व्हॅल्यू तो परत चेंज होणार नाही. दॅट विल गिव्ह द कॉन्स्टंट गेन आफ्टर दॅट. आर यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? सो now the frequency response we have to understand now. So this is the description and working of RF or function of RF we have seen in the practical integrator. Now we will see the frequency response of integrator. So frequency response of integrated circuit we can try to discuss now. So here I will draw the frequency response and then we can try to analyze and try to understand. So on x-axis there is the relative frequency. Frequency response means on x-axis obviously there is the frequency. Relative frequency in terms of unit is hertz. Now relative frequency means what? The zero means every, or we can consider on semi-log paper. So here 10 raised to 1, that is 10. Here it is 100. Here it is 1k. Here it is 10k, 100k, like this. Okay, this is called as relative frequency. Now on y-axis what will be there? That is the gain in terms of decibel. So what will be the gain of this integrated circuit that we are plotting on y-axis? Now that will be the 20, 40, 60, 80, like this. Okay, or 100 somewhere here. 100 it's somewhere here. Now the graph here, the frequency response will be like this. So 10 raised to 5. 10 raised to 5 means here k means 10 raised to 3 and this is the 10 raised to 2, that 10 raised to 5. The graph is like this. It is the graph like this, and so this is the uh, basic integrator response, means original circuit. This is the practical integrated circuit. So this is the graph of basic integrated circuit. Okay, now this will be the graph. Here if you are observing this response, if you are observing continuously, as soon as the frequency you are going to increase, the gain also going to decrease, but at constant rate it is going to decrease here. But if you are using this practical integrated, then for certain frequency range the gain remains constant. So that we are going to try to understand. So if you are using the practical integrated circuit, then up to certain frequency, that certain frequency is in between 1k to 100k somewhere, just like so somewhere suppose it is 1k. So here the gain will try to reduce. the gain will try to reduce, and finally it will comes to 0 dB. In both cases, in the basic integrated response as well as in the practical integrated ideal response, in both case the gain is finally reduced to 0 dB. But there is a difference. In the basic integrated response, the continuously gain is decreasing as frequency is increasing. But for the practical integrator, for some frequency range, the gain remains constant. For frequency range, the gain remains constant, due to which the whatever the limitations we are getting, that we can get reduce. त्याच्यामुळे आपण काय करू शकतो, तो जो काही ड्रॉबॅक होता, जो काही लिमिटेशन होतं, तो आपण कमी करू शकतो. सो दिस ग्राफ, this frequency response, we can call it as practical integrator ideal response. Practical integrator ideal response. Okay, now actually this will be the practical integrated response, we can call it as practical integrated response. Now ideal kashamuळे म्हणूया, ideal means at some frequency it should be exactly come to the 0 dB. म्हणजे ideal कशासाठी म्हणू शकतो आपण, if you are considering here somewhere here, so this frequency is FB, this frequency is FA. So FA and FE are the two frequency, sorry, this will be the FB and this will be the FA. So dotted lines, so dotted line is practical integrator, practical integrated ideal response. So that we are trying to understand this frequency response, there are the three curves. Okay, so first of all, the 40 dB constant here, suppose some value we have taken, not exactly 40. So if the dotted line, if the dotted line is there, then this is the graph of, this is the response of practical integrated ideal response. म्हणजे exactly तो FB ला FA ला काय व्हायला पाहिजे, 0 dB व्हायला पाहिजे. But this is the ideal response. But practical integrated practical response is what, this is one, means after FA it is gradually decreasing, it is gradually decreasing, and then it gives the 0 dB at FA. Here FB is there, I will write FB and this will be the FA. Now, and without feedback register, so it is without RF. Without RF, the response will be like this. So what I will do, this I will draw with the blue pen. So this I will draw the blue pen. So this is the basic integrated response we are getting. Continuously the gain is decreasing, and finally at FB it will give the 0 dB. Now if you are using the RF or modified integrated circuit, and if you are taking the response, frequency response, then the graph is like this, and the ideal response we are getting the dotted, that is the shown here. So this is the practical integrated ideal response. Actually we are getting this one, that is practical integrated response, that is shown here. Are you understand? So this will be the frequency response of integrated circuit. We have seen today what is the definition of integrator, then we have seen the circuit diagram, we have understood the construction and working, we have derived the expression of output voltage, that is nothing but negative integral of input voltage, that expression we have derived. And after that we have seen the drawback or limitation of original integrated circuit. So what is the drawback, even though there is the input voltage 0, we are getting some error voltage at the output due to input offset voltage. So how to reduce that drawback, that can be done by using RF resistor. So you can connect the RF resistor in parallel with feedback capacitor. So after that, once you get this modified or this practical integrated circuit, then we can try to analyze the frequency response. So frequency response, in that there are the three different curves are there. So the straight line which is shown here, that is the a response, frequency response of integrated circuit without RF. Now next, this curve is shown here, in which the gain is reducing after APA. The gain is reducing at a constant rate, but not suddenly. So that will be the practical integrated practical integrated original response. And the practical integrated ideal response is shown by this dotted line, means where the gain is suddenly reduced to 0 dB. So that is, all three responses are shown in one figure only. So this will be the frequency response we have understood now. So the next analyzation part we can continue in the next lecture. So figure frequency response of integrator. So we can stop for today. In the next lecture, we can try to derive some expressions here. We can try to analyze this frequency response with the help of mathematical expressions or mathematical concept. So up to now, we have discussed about the fundamental concept of integration. Any queries from this point? कोणाला काही questions? Anyone having queries? Okay. So we can stop for today. In the next lecture, we can continue the next part of this integration. And after that, we are going to start the differentiator circuit. Thank you.